How's it going, everybody? Coach D here from All Out Athletes. And once again, we're back with our Last Dance Baseball podcast. If you're looking for our All Out Athletes podcast, that's Thursday night, 8 p.m. But tonight, we're talking baseball. We're talking about how it all came together. And one of the reasons why it came together is the man who's joining me tonight. He was actually in the Junior College World Series at the County College of Morse. Then he went to Fairleigh Dickinson University, where he led the NEC to 2 titles, and it was also all-conference those 2 years. Then the Chicago White Sox said, we want this guy. Get this guy up here. So he went to the White Sox organization. He was in the big league camp, was in the St. Louis Cardinals organization, also in the big league camp. And a lot of people don't know what the big league camp is. That's basically they're getting athletes ready. The last finishing touches on the athletes to go into the major leagues. Maybe some of them need a little bit more than a finishing touch. But this is the camaraderie and teamwork that you need to play in the major leagues, and that's what it's all about. I don't know if other sports have a camp like that. As a matter of fact, what people don't know is that 85% of Hall of Famers came from the big league camp. They went to the big league camp. So that's a great stat. And I'm talking to somebody who was at the big league camp. And then he found his way over into the New York Yankees organization until, we won't talk much about it, but an injury happened and it curtailed him to the sidelines. And what do you do when you get injured? You want to give back to the athletes. So from there, he went back to FDU to coach. He also, I think it was about 4 years or so. And then he also coached at Raritan Valley Community College. And then he found himself over at Montclair State University, where he was third in the World Series. Which is great, a great thing. And I'm so glad to have him here tonight. Please welcome John Kroeger. John, how's it going? Sorry for the long-winded intro, but I really want to talk you up there. I'm so happy you're on here.
Great introduction.
So John's one of the guys. There's a couple other guys responsible, but John's one of the workhorses he's not in the background. He's at the forefront. But I talked to Mike Murray earlier. He's the AD over at St. Joe's. And, there's another guy involved, and he's the head coach over at Milburn. But, John, you don't coach a team. How'd you get involved in this?
Well, it was Michael Murray's idea, and Brian Chapman went along with his idea. And he said, John, he goes, if we're going to make it work, most of the high school coaches in the state, and trying to help us get fields, and I said, hey, I'm on board. I want to see high school baseball. I want to see any baseball, actually. So whatever Mike needed, I would be there for him. If he told me I need a field in this area, or reach out to every high school team possible. Let's go for as many teams as possible. That's what I did. But it's Mike Murray, great idea by him. It takes a lot of people to get something like this done, and Mike started it off, and I'm so glad I'm involved in it.
Would you say more high school coaches, high school baseball coaches in the state than anybody else? Is that fair to say?
It doesn't really matter. It's just, when you go, I go to a lot of games. So you talk to a lot of people, and you get people's phone numbers, and people need things. And I also help out at Diamond Nation with Steve DiTrolio, with TJ Hunt from PBR, with picking the underclass all-star game for the last 7-8 years, and just get to know a lot of people and get a lot of phone numbers in your phone. That's it.
So I gave you that. So I gave all your background at the beginning. So what are you doing now besides being involved in that way in New Jersey and getting kids recruited and things like that? What else are you doing that we don't know about?
I'm a school teacher. And I also helped Lee Service out with the Cincinnati Reds, and as associate scout. Just a little bit of everything, and it's a lot of fun because most of the stuff I'm doing, I'm trying to help kids out, get noticed, or help them with getting into colleges, and talk to a lot of college coaches, and see what their need is, and It's more fun for me. People think it's a lot of work, but you just you talk to the kid and you figure them out and you know their ability. When you see them so many times and you give them an honest answer where you think they could play and what certain, college coaches are looking for.
And that's the thing. Here at All Out Athletes, we try to find how do the champions train, right? And find out how do they train. Let the athletes know. What are the coaches looking for? Because so many times we have athletes come, they go, I want to be the best. I want to be a champion. But then you watch the way they train and they need a kick in the butt for the whole hour they're out there. Or they're excited the first 5 minutes and the first failure brings them all the way down. So as a recruiter, what do you look for in an athlete, unlike the average athlete? Because I'm in a war against averageness. I'm in a war. I fight, as coaches, we fight against averageness every day because a lot of athletes want to fit in and they don't want to stand out. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work, and I don't think they realize the work it takes to put in. And you don't have to be the best, right? You don't have to be. You don't have to be. But when you want that A, but your actions are a C, that's like the biggest disappointment in the world when you don't get the A, but your actions have always been a C. So what is one of the biggest things you look for in athletes that separates them from everybody else?
Well, I think I can say for a lot of coaches and scouts, I think one of the biggest things, there's a lot of talent, especially in New Jersey and throughout the country. But I think the one thing that I do is when I go to a game, I'll watch a kid in the dugout and see how he reacts with his team, just to see how he picks players up. I talk to a lot of a lot of kids also during the season and see where their head's at. See what kids are doing after they make an out, discipline, structure, and how they act. Because there's a lot of talent out there, and that sometimes that doesn't separate at all. It's the other things, what they're doing off the field and the things they're doing on the field even before the game, and how their preparation is. Because a lot of coaches, especially college guys, they'd rather have a guy who's going to give them 100% than a guy who's a great player but thinks they're a great player and doesn't think they have to do all that. So
yeah, I think you bring up a great point. That a lot of athletes, sometimes even athletes who work really hard, right? They're hard workers, but there's tunnel vision on themselves, right? They celebrate their own success, but not the success of the teammates. Or even go a step further where their teammates are down. As you're saying, what are they doing in the dugout? If somebody strikes out, do they even acknowledge them, or do they just ignore them? Or if they do something good, do they acknowledge? Yeah, are they more excited for them than they are for themselves? Right? So what do you do in the dugout? And I think that's a great point, because for some reason, I don't know the reason, maybe you know it, baseball in New Jersey's players coming out of New Jersey for baseball has been hot for a long time. And so there's so much competition in New Jersey, to make it to the next level. So what is going to separate you from everybody else? Is it that attitude that Coach John is saying? What are you doing in the dugout? You just sitting there, and then all of a sudden you ignite with energy when it's your turn. But the whole time you just kind of just let me know when when it's my turn to bat or it's my turn to go out in the field. And I think you bring up a great point. That's so important. But why do you think that baseball is huge in this state compared to some of the other states?
Well, I think that there's great baseball all over the country.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I can only really speak from the East Coast and watch what I see on video and, people that I talk to. But, high school baseball in New Jersey is great because, these, especially in the state tournaments, when you're playing in front of 500 people, it could be your last game, and it means something. And summer league's great too. I love watching travel ball games, but I think that's more showcase helping the kids get into college. I mean, I go to games, and there's a lot of summer league teams that kids want to win, but I think you really get a good idea on the hungriness of kids at the high school level, because it's win or lose or you're out. Um, I just love watching high school baseball games throughout the year. It tells me a lot of things.
How
So
many games would you say you go to in a year?
I don't know. It varies year to year. I try to get to
100?
two games,
200?
two games a day during the week, and then as many games that I can on Saturdays and Sundays.
Wow. So you're at least going to over 100, maybe 150 games. I mean, baseball, as we know, like other sports, sometimes it's easy to hide as an athlete with basketball or soccer, or sometimes even football. If you're not totally into it, there's other people moving around you, right? Baseball's kind of hard, even though it's a team sport. We know it's constant individual play throughout, and it's kind of hard to hide. And these recruiters are watching every move you make. It's a lot easier to watch you because there's not as much action in the sport, right, as there is in these other sports. So if there was one thing besides attitude, like let's say their physical skills. So we talked about attitude. What is one physical skill that you would look for in an athlete?
Probably, you have a five-tool player. And you don't get a lot of five-tool players, but when you do, it says a lot. I'm a guy, I love speed. Speed, you can't teach speed, and speed can do a lot of things. Run and get a ball, steal bases, you can punt your way on infield hits. I love the game. It's strategy. Strategy, speed can create strategy. Guys that hit the 3-run home run, after a while, you expect it. So, there's so many different avenues of the game, but I love speed. I'm a big speed and defensive guy. That's just.
You've been around it for so long, or actually longer than most people because of the amount of games you've gone to. Does it still bother you, because you've seen so many athletes over the years, does it still bother you when you see that player with the speed, right, with all that potential, and they're not giving it all they've got? Does it still irk you a little bit as you sit in the stands like, oh, that player, if he was just a little?
I don't see too many kids. I don't see too many kids. I see New Jersey kids. They love the game of baseball. It's a short season, so when I go to games, I see a lot of good things. I don't see a lot of laziness out of kids. You get your kids that know they're never going to play at the next level. But I think all the kids that know they can play the game and, have skills and tools, they play hard.
What is something you wish you knew when you played in high? Like everything that you know right now, what's the one thing you wish you knew? Like, man, I know there's probably like 30 of the things. It's probably a bunch of them. But, if you just speak on a couple of them, what do you wish you know now that you could share with everybody else that you wish you knew when you were, 13, 14, 15 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old?
Well, I think every kid should understand that structure and discipline is a very important asset to any kid. And if you have that, it can take you really far, not just in baseball, but in life. And I had a great father. He was a Marine. So I remember as a kid, him telling me, you got to make your bed every day before you go to school. And I'm like, oh, and I hated that. He goes, it'll make you a better baseball player. Take out the garbage on Monday and Thursdays. It'll make you a better baseball player. And I'm like, oh my God, how is that going to make me a better baseball player? But at the end of the day, it's structure and discipline. And when you have structure and discipline and you do things over and over and over again, quote unquote, he used to always say, it becomes second nature. And when you can do things second nature without thinking about it, it becomes effortless. And that's basically what he was trying to get at all those years. And I wish I understood that a little bit more at an early age, because I think I got that about 16, 17 years old, but I wish I knew that at 11 and 12, because I think it would have helped me out a lot more.
I think that's a great lesson. You bring up discipline. And for, what exactly is discipline? Discipline is basically doing your best when you feel like it least, right? Basically putting your actions ahead of your feelings. Why aren't you going to make your bed? You don't feel like it. It's just, I know when the snooze button goes off in the morning, right? Some of us repeat those 5 words that destroy success. I don't feel like it. Why are kids not going? I don't feel like it. So they put our feelings ahead of our actions. And when our feelings come first, our goals come last. And that's really what discipline is. Giving up what you want right now for what you want the most. Right now, I don't want to train. I'm tired. But what do you want the most? I want to be a champion. I want to be the best. So if you can keep that most, and a lot of Olympic athletes, what do they have on their calendar? The date of the Olympics. No matter how tired they are, no matter how they feel, they're staring at that date. That never leaves their mind. And I think a lot of athletes, as you spoke about with discipline, we get caught up in our feelings. Our thoughts. There's no magical thought or feeling that's going to make you feel energized. It doesn't happen. You just, what is warm up? It's putting your body in motion, and then the emotions will follow, right? How do you get psyched up when you're psyched out? How do you get into it when you feel out of it? You just, action, ACE, when I say action creates energy. That's why you warm up before the game. That's why you warm for any game. If you start moving, actions will change attitudes. They were. So you start acting a certain way, you start feeling a certain way. Champions know this. They may not know how to say it like that, but that's what they do. They put their actions ahead of their feelings. And you're smiling and thinking, yeah, that's what we do. That's what it is. That's what discipline is, athletes. It's okay to feel that way. You just can't act that way. Act differently than you feel. It's okay, because soon the practice is going to be over. It's going to end. Soon your career is going to be over. And you're either going to say, I'm glad I did, or I wish I had. Right? And they always come back, Coach, you tell me if they come back and they always say, if I would have worked a little bit harder, if I would have did a little, I could have been All-American. Right? It's always the same thing, but they're putting their feelings ahead of their actions. So that's okay if that's what you want, but we know athletes don't want that. We know, and they all struggle with that. But that's an important lesson. Your father said, do the thing you don't want to do. He was teaching you to do what you don't want to do in order to get things other people are not going to get. And I think that's a great lesson. So anything else you want to share about the Last Dance baseball tournament, about athletes, or if you want to comment on anything I just said or anything?
No, I think it took a lot of people to get this thing going after Mike went forward, and took all the high school coaches, and I think some parents and some players too. There's several players that are really pushed their coaches hard, and it took a lot of people. It wasn't just one person. I'm just glad to be a part of it. I can't wait to watch the games, and it should be a lot of fun. I mean, Mike did a great job with all the hard stuff. And Brian and I and Mike were sit down and finish the seeds this week, and then baseball time, and it should be a lot of fun.
And neither one of you are going to take the credit for this.
Credits, I don't think, when Mike had the idea of this, I don't think he was thinking credit, but he did a lot of hard stuff, and Brian was right by his side, and they reached out to me and asked me to help them, and I was there, and I reached out to a lot of coaches and told them what it's about, and we're ready to go. I probably had 200 phone calls a day 2 weeks ago, every day. So talking to people and text messages, and Mike the same thing, and Brian the same thing. And I think, you all got to work together, and the coaches are really helping us out a lot, and the parents. It's going to be great.
And that's what a team is, right?
Yes.
All of you talk about what somebody else did on the team, right? You talk about somebody else's successes that help make this team successful for the benefit of all the athletes. I was talking to Mike Murray, the AD at St. Joe's earlier today, and we were talking about how, they can't use the varsity team's uniforms, and so it's going back to the old days. Who cares what number anybody is? Who cares what the expense of bat? They just want to play. They just want to get out on the field and play. And that's all the coaches are trying to express to these athletes every day, to live that moment. As we said, it could be taken away just like that. And now they're getting it back. The season is being resurrected. After the graduations are over, now they're getting it all back. And it's such, and you see, I get excited for a little thing because I love sports. I love everything about sports. I love how sports is all about living in the moment and there's nothing else going on in the world. And it's like everybody's legal drug is to play sports. It takes you away from the things that are bothering you in life. So whether your family's bothering you, you got problems with your boyfriend or girlfriend, there's always sports to turn to. And I just think it's great. I think it's great with you, and the other guys are doing, and what you really did for these athletes. And I hope they truly realize what you guys are doing for them during a pandemic. Trying to do everything you guys possibly can. I know you've been on the phone with Governor Murphy to make sure everything's safe. Is there anything you can tell us if he's come out with any of the rules of safety guidelines or anything like that?
We've been going through a lot with Senator Sarlo from Woodridge, and he's really helped us out a lot too, understanding the rules and with the coaches being able to coach on the 14th and pushing the NJSA a little bit, allowing the coaches to coach, even though we're not affiliated with the NJSA, we're more of a rec situation, but certain rules for the coaches have to be abide by, and they can't practice with their team beforehand. So a lot of the parents are practicing, and on the 14th, God willing, some of the athletic directors are going to say, listen, you can go coach the team. Most coaches will be coaching, but there are some districts that still, they're a little bit iffy. So having the coaches there makes a big difference.
Well, it's great that you're getting the cooperation from, people from political offices and coaches, and I'm hoping that all coaches understand why. I mean, they all understand what this is for, but they're changing the rules, right, to make it more player friendly a little bit. I just hope all the coaches. I know coaches. We get caught up in the moment. We want to win. We want to, especially if you got beat last year, and now you knew you should have won last year. And now this is your opportunity. But I also want the coaches to keep things in perspective as well. It's a little bit different than last year, just a little bit. So if they can keep things in perspective when they go out there. Is there any last words you want to say to the athletes or the players, or anything you want to say to? I should have said that, or I wish I would have brought that up, or anything you want to tell us from your Yankee days, or anything you want to share?
No, just go play baseball and have fun, because once the fun's done, then it's just not fun anymore. And I've been through it before, and you got to have fun. If you don't have fun, it becomes a job, and this is not a job. This has got to be fun for you, because when it is a job, it's not the same. It's just not the same. People think pro baseball was, it's so much fun to play pro baseball. Yes, the guys making big money, but they go through a lot of stuff, and it's a business. It's not all fun and games sometimes. So.
Yep, you could be gone tomorrow. As much as they love you today, you're gone tomorrow.
This is all fun and games for me. This is what it's all about. I can't wait. I can't wait to go watch games. I'll be all over New Jersey. So,
well,
get in my helicopter from game to game.
That's great. That's great. Well, John, it's been great having you on, and we'd like for you to come back and give us a report on the games. Sure. How's that?
Well, anytime. It's great. Anytime.
All right, great.
Let me know and I'll be on. If there's not a game, I'll be on.
Awesome. So, players, remember, have fun within the game. So, somebody's going to make an error. Somebody's going to strike out. You're going to lose games. But remember why you're here. Remember all of those behind the scenes to make it possible for you to be exactly where you're going to be for the next month. Enjoy this. That doesn't mean when you strike out, you just smile and pretend like you don't care. But no, we're saying enjoy the game. Don't let a failure bring you so far down you can't enjoy the rest of the game, right? You may be down for a second, but bounce right back. You really want to enjoy it and have the fun that Coach is talking about. We got to increase our bounce back ability. You got to bounce back. It's okay to be bothered by something, but the team needs you to bounce right back. So if you're all in on your focus and you're all in on your energy, then the team can rely on you to go all out. Thank you, Coach, and we'll see everybody next time on the Last Dance Baseball Tournament podcast. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thanks again.
Thanks for joining us. On the next Last Dance Baseball podcast, Wednesday night at 8 p.m., we're going to have the owner of the Complete Player Baseball and Softball School and the head coach of the varsity boys baseball team from Mount Olive High School, Jim McDermott. And if you're serious about learning how to think like a champion, join us Thursday nights, 8 p.m. as the professor in sports psychology, Dr. Rob Gilbert, comes on with us to give you the mental skills of a champion. And if you want to train like a champion, join us Monday morning, 8 a.m. I give a 2 to 3 minute locker room speech to boost your energy and focus to get you ready, not to go into the game, to go into your training so you can actually train like a champion. And if you want us to come ignite the fire within your organization, just email us, alloutathletes@gmail.com. You want to think like a champion? That's Thursday night, 8 p.m. You want to play like a champion? That's Monday morning, 8 a.m. If you're truly serious about getting to that level, go to our YouTube channel and type in All Out Athletes. We'll see you next time.